Yeah, there's no denying it. This is a far superior way to wake up when compared to a side street in the city, or even a parking lot in a city. And lately, I tell you, it's just seemed like it's been one conflict after another. You know, van lifing in a city, after doing it for 3.5 years, you know, it's becoming very, very frustrating. Some people absolutely love the idea of, you know, arriving late and leaving early. Some of us like to sleep in. So I finally decided yesterday, screw it. I'm gonna lean into one of the most enjoyable parts of my van life in terms of where I am geographically, and also something I don't do nearly enough. So hooked up the entire rig, came out here, and this is where I will be for the rest of the week. And the Irish Pirate Queen will be our shuttle back and forth to see the Pirate Princess. And I can happily report that this morning I was absolutely able to sleep in. Yeah, I'm very fortunate for where I am in Canadaland up here, that I can make it in about 25 minutes out to this from the big city. That's pretty darn cool. And yeah, I definitely don't do it enough. And I don't necessarily know why that is. Money's always an argument for sure. It's way cheaper to just find a side street to hunker down on and call it a day. Most would argue that's completely free, and they wouldn't be wrong. But near the beginning of my van life, I was coming out here and absolutely loving it, enjoying it to no end. time's marched on, I still enjoy it, that's for sure. And I guess, I don't know, I was just getting, or I shouldn't say getting as in a past tense, I should say I'm getting just disheartened and disillusioned with the whole thing. I mean, it only takes a couple bad nights sleep to really put a horrible taste in your mouth regarding any situation, right? So instead of just continuing to bitch about it because it was putting me in just a terrible mood, get out here and hunker down out here, because this really truly is far better than that. Even when it's not what some would consider beautiful, this is still gorgeous. The weather could just be a little warmer. I got my toque on, which I haven't worn in what I feel like is months. That itself is kind of cool. I don't know, I felt myself getting worked up, frustrated, disillusioned, just stressed out, right? And that happens to all of us, right? For a multitude of different reasons. And I just needed to find a way to, and after one night already, I can tell this is it. I've always enjoyed being on my own. I've never done it nearly as much as I have since I started my van life, of course. And you've all been witness to the majority of it. And it's just, it's something we don't do enough, isn't it? You know, just take time for us, escape, get out, decompress. I think a lot of the time we take that stuff for granted. I mean, I'm a perfect example of that. I remember back when I was first toying with the idea of getting the Jeep, the idea of being able to have two vehicles in this nomadic lifestyle, and I could do stuff exactly like this, right? Bring the van out to a location and use the Jeep to commute around. And I've done that, to be fair to myself. I have absolutely done that in the past. And you could argue that I was doing that in the city, right? And I know some people are like, well, that's not really van life. You don't have your home with you all the time. I guess that's fair. I still don't think there is one single hard and fast rule on how you have to do van life. I think van life is whatever you make it, whether it's full-time, part-time, weekend warrioring, or with a giant RV, or a tent and a backpack strapped to your back, you know? Whatever. It's just, it all falls under the umbrella of being out in nature. And guess what? We're always out in nature. Even if we're inside, we're in nature. We're all on the same tiny rock flying through space. But I definitely haven't been leaning into that whole idea that I had back before I got the Jeep enough. And I think the whole concept of me gravitating towards taking the van somewhere, hunkering it down, getting it set up into what I always called camp mode, and then using the Jeep to get around, I mean, that really harkens back to me wanting roots, me wanting a place, right? And that's another reason why I wanted to get out here. I've been overwhelmed lately in a very good way. Not even what I was just talking about, but with everything that I've laid out at the beginning of this chapter here on Vanlife Plus. And recently, it's come to the surface that my goals and desires more than likely are going to be happening sooner than I even anticipated. And I couldn't be more happy, excited, scared, nervous, and just all around happy about that. So for me as a creative person, being able to do what I do here on my channel with my videos, it really sort of gets my creative juices flowing, gets my mind racing a mile a minute. And when I've got so much else stressing me out, I need to remove myself from that so I can just get that clarity. And I got that clarity. I was able to write down a plan of how I want this to go. And it looks like chapter 5, titled Captain of Vanlife Plus, will be coming to an end probably near the end of the month of May. So might not be too much to say right now, but we are in the home stretch. Yeah. It's definitely not a depopulated area, but this is kind of one of those moments where you see something that somebody's left behind and it just puts a smile on your face. sort of reminds you you're not alone, right? Just down here, right where I placed my camera for that last shot. I didn't even notice till I came back to get the camera. Amen. And as exciting as that is, that's going to be happening so soon, and don't get me wrong, I am very excited for it. There's still so much that's going to happen before then, right? In terms of creating the content I'm creating, living the life I'm living. Camping season is starting this weekend from when I'm filming this, right? We're going to officially kick off the 2025 camping season with Lindsay and Sadie off on our first trip. I've got a trip to BC coming up, finally. It's been far too long since I've been out there to see my family, not since my nephew was born on January 1st. I know Brooklyn's excited to get out there as well. There's stuff that needs to get done to the van. It's funny how when I start thinking about things and how much time we think we have, but then the days just keep going and nothing slows down. And if I didn't take these moments to come out and just reset myself, get out of my head, but also get in my head, but just in a specific, with a specific focus, I could probably lose my way. Very simply, and then I'd be rushed and overwhelmed, and my goodness, the quality content that you would get would not be. So, I don't know, yeah, it's like feeling overwhelmed by positivity can still be just as stressful as being overwhelmed by negativity, you know? I think that's not a fair statement. I think being overwhelmed by positivity, depending on how you approach it, is always going to be better than being overwhelmed by negativity, that's for sure. And let's be fair, my negativity and bitching about, I'm getting the knock and paid lots and being told I can't sleep here and then being disturbed by cars ripping by my head as the rest of the world wakes up and continues to exist. Just small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. But I think small potatoes is what a lot of us can relate to, right? So, yes. It's definitely good to be out here taking a giant breath and just reminding myself how peaceful, how calm, and how simple life can be. Not such a bad place to have your morning coffee. Or, in my case, my Revita energy tea. I even have my cramp-on shoe spiky thingies from Craze Outdoors. I brought them with me, just in case. There's not nearly as much snow and ice out here as I thought there would be. And I thought there would be because the campsite was rather slick when I rolled in last night. Your Grace, yep. Got the propane fire pit. Gonna get that hooked up. I don't know, maybe this afternoon, maybe later tonight when we get back to camp. I'm just not sure. Obviously, I could pitch the bear den at camp too if I wanted a nice warm shelter outside. But like I said, there's a lot of snow and ice at the campground, and it can get breezy. I don't know if I want to come back to my bear den blown away. I have spikes for it. I don't know how much work it would be to drive those spikes into the frozen ground. Let's see, does anybody love us? Nope. Well, people might love us, but no reception. Which is par for the course. Although the Starlink is working out here, which I was surprised at. I thought the tall trees would interfere, but no, I got a decent connection, so I can still do a little bit of work while I'm out here. It's not such a good connection. I need to get utterly distracted. Yeah, I just need to do this just a little bit more often. I think part of the problem too is that it's been so long since I've done anything like this. Haven't been proper camping in a while. Haven't simply come out here for the day in a while. Haven't been to BC in far too long. Oh, somebody does love us. Oh no, all the messages are coming through. And I think that's the kind of stuff, like I just like builds and builds and builds. So my own fault. I could very well go out whenever I want to, really, but I haven't been. And stress. But now we have been. So stress can begin to melt away. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Yeah. Yo, bro, your Jeep's really yellow. We out of here. Quick, how fast can somebody in the comments type, lunch? Yeah, so here's what I was talking about. It's super compacted down, very icy when I got here last night. I used the shovel to clear a little bit here, and then I got this far and I realized I should have just gone onto Lucky's roof and put my camping mat down. Because now I'm at a point where if I put the mat down, it's going to have quite the bump in it, so it's going to be uneven, or I have to clear the rest of this so that it's flush in the dirt. Who wants to bet I don't get the mat down at all and we just leave this the way it is? Not just a hat rack, my friend. And inside the tiny home, I'm sure there's a big fat putty tat. Yes, there is. Hello, darling. How are you? Yeah. You nice and warm in here, huh? You want some treats? Oh, probably. Let me see what I can wrangle up for you here. There we go. You stay there. I'll come to you. I think we've been out here lots. You know this place. Yeah. Mwah. There you want. Do you need to decompress too? Are you feeling stressed out? Is your creativity being affected? I don't think so. Hey, this? Good girl. How's our battery doing down here? 92%. It's behaving the same way my old battery monitor used to behave. And I don't actually know that it's the monitor's fault, but we've got shore power out here, right? So we've been plugged in, which has been super nice. I don't want to say I take it for granted. I think the appropriate thing that I should say is that I just absolutely love the fact that I have this tiny little home on wheels that I can take out to a powered campground, plug in, and I've got all of the amenities at my fingertips. Minus like a flush toilet or whatever, right? But it's super cool. And the fact that I built it has always just been so comforting and cool. And I feel, what's the word I'm looking for, Penny? Accomplished, right? That I did it. You know, Lucky's seen changes over the years for sure, but her power system has always been a staple. And it's just, I know you can go buy an RV and come out to a campground and plug in and have all the comforts of home as well, but when you build it from the ground up, it's really cool. And I really like hunkering down at campgrounds and having all of those amenities, especially with the hobbies that I have and the work that I do, right? Like, it's really cool. But I completely got off track there. That's the last one, okay? Good girl. Yeah, it's like when I'm plugged into shore power, it never keeps the house battery topped up at 100% according to the monitor. Like down to 92%, it's plugged in, it should be charging. And it is charging, it's flashing. I don't know how much charge I'm getting. It says 1.31 watts. I better actually check the battery charger on the inside of the bed. But if my past experience has taught me anything, it's that, yeah, the battery charger that's plugged into the shore power will still be charging the house batteries, but I don't know. It's one of those little things you just kind of learn to live with. And I'll learn to live with it after I check all my systems. All right, so there, yeah, see, we've got our shore power, our bar's lit up. We got the Starlink TV and the N64 plugged in. Able to enjoy all of these things without the stress of having to worry about draining the EcoFlow, which is now also completely topped up. We rolled in last night. I think it was around 38%. I used it to charge some batteries in my phone last night and the computer. And then I topped it up and it can take a nice, well-deserved break now. So before anything else, let's get under here and just see. I'm sure everything's fine. Let's see, take a peeky peek in there. Yeah, see, like it's on, which means it is working. So I don't know. Let's yard this thing up here and just double check everything. Yeah, 13.1 and it's saying full, right? That's what that top, I can't see anything. My old man eyes are terrible. That's voltage. No, it says full. Okay. So this red light shows you what you're on, and this little green light in the middle says full. So it's full. Get your poop in a group battery. Or maybe I can just, wait a second. That is saying full. Now is a perfect time to reset. Boom. Nailed it. Although I am out here, maybe now is the time to do this. With these battery monitors, the manual also says it's better to set them to 0 than 100%, which means that I have to drain my house batteries down to 0. And now is the time to do it because I have the shore power. All I would have to do is unplug the charger and then figure out a way to drain my batteries. Like obviously all that it's running right now are the lights and the diesel heater. And the fan is spinning because you always want that fresh air coming in. I'd have to like drain the EcoFlow and then use Lucky's inverter to charge it if I wanted to like rapidly drain my batteries. That's nerve-wracking in and of itself. This might be a future Matthew problem, but I'm just putting it out there. That's probably the better way to set your battery monitor, is to set for 0 as opposed to 100. And you do exactly the opposite of what I just did. You wait until your battery's shut off and you have power to nothing. Then you come to the battery monitor and you hold the down arrow to set it to 0. Then charge your batteries back up. That's probably what we'll do maybe tomorrow or something. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll throw the EcoFlow. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Obviously, I couldn't come camping without a few adult beverages. So yes, I grabbed some more from, well, not from the distillery, but I found a liquor store that actually carried. What the hell kind of word is that? I found a liquor store that carries the, what are they? Cuba Libre. These, talked about them in the, was it the last video? I don't even know anymore. But yeah, local distillery in Calgary, making some rum and Coke drinks. How did it take me so long to discover them? I don't know. Some people's kids. So yeah, I totally thought the Starlink would not work out here. I had people tell me before that these tall ass trees would interfere, and they might very well be, but yeah, see, like we got the dish there, it's all powered up, had it powered up since last night. It's got a pretty good view of the sky right here, albeit there's a bunch of clouds up there. But if I go into my app here and run the speed test, hello, right? Holy crap. 40 milliseconds latency, 260 megabits per second download, and then what's the upload going to be? The upload's a little shoddier, I've noticed, for sure. And this definitely fluctuates. When I first plugged it in last night, I would get like 200 down one speed test, and then as soon as it was done, I would run a new one, and I'd get like 13 megabytes down. So I don't know if it was just leveling itself out. It does say in the app that it can take up to 12 hours for Starlink to become perfectly stable, but I don't know, it's just so cool to have that sort of like connection out here versus when I first came out here and the van was, well, all my systems were much more infantile, let's say. This whole little getup of mine, oh, how it has grown through the years. I'm like a little kid in a toy store. I still get this shit-eating grin on my face when I look at it. It's been a crazy wild ride. It's definitely gotten nicer out, which is good. I don't like it being cold out here, but yeah, it's funny how the sun hits these sites, right? Like my site that I booked, covered in snow, same with the site over there. But this one over here, where it's completely bare, and my neighbor is now gone. This is the site that I was in last year when my awning ate shit. Yeah, they get way more sun over on this side, but this site was not available to book when I booked, so I'm not going to be over there right now. That is a-okay. People still rolling in, coming out here to enjoy the weather. I was just inside Lucky whilst the weather was getting its poop in a group, filming a video for my other channel. If you're not following me over there, link in the description below. But yeah, these pull-through sites are actually really nice, and I do kind of prefer them, especially when I have the whole rig, because I could get lucky right off of the pull-through path. In this case, when I was here last year, it was not that easy because the snow was... but yeah, in a situation like this, I could get lucky right over here so that my doors would swing into the like camping area, and then Grace could just, if need be, and then I could even have visitors and they wouldn't get blocked in. But we're not interested in visitors right now, and we're also not in this site right now, so we're gonna make do with what we have. And I'm starting to get a little hungry. I didn't bring many groceries with me, but we do have a few things left over from M&M Meats, and I think we're gonna whip out the air fryer to snack on. Not to air fry, I'm gonna use it to make the snack. Everybody just calm down. As we walk by here, we'll take this down. There's another way I could drain Lucky's battery when I want to do that. You can use the inverter to power stuff like the air fryer. A bunch of stuff gonna come falling out. Hey Penny, how you doing? Up here reading your newspaper. We can get rid of this even more for you. You can have the whole window to read your newspaper. Hello? Yeah, good girl. Yeah. We still got lots of stuff stuffed in Lucky's arse. Fortunately, there's only one way to get in here, and that's to move all the stuff. That's okay. Whoop, with how cold it is. Ooh, the Brooklyn pillow almost hit the dirt. It's cold enough out here that you still want that stuffing, for darn sure. All right, let's see how well my memory serves me. 6 to 7 minutes at 400. I think that's the mantra I was repeating in the previous video. All right, air fryer plugged into Lucky. So one thing about camping, right? Like I don't need to be out here. It is nice that the weather has gotten as nice as it is right now so that I can be outside. But I would argue that just the idea of being at a campground gives you this like weird thing in the back of your head where you're supposed to be outside. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I mean, if you want to be, great. But it's just like it automatically makes you feel like you have to be. effing annoying. Oh, now you're here. Hello. Get that scratcher. Get that scratcher. Get that scratcher. And inverter. Perfect. Let's move this stuff. Oh yes, from filming our other video. Hello. Here we go. What are these things called again? Hot honey balls? Something like that. Yeah, I can't quite remember. You want to come out in your tent? I can set you up on a picnic table where it's not wet. If you really want to join me. Yeah, all right. Give me a second to get some honey balls in the air fryer. Boop. All right, 7 minutes on the air fryer. Penny, I'll get your tent. Give me 1 second. This? You want to go inside? Yeah. Here, I'll grab your bed too, because it'll be a little hard on the picnic table. Yeah. It's also getting breezy, so this might not last very long, kitty cat. Come here, darling. I'll carry you. It's oh so slippery. Although I bet your claws would give you perfect traction on the ice, wouldn't they? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Get the stink blown off you a little bit. Not that you stink that bad right now. You're pretty good. There you go. Sure made a mess of it out here, didn't I? Now that the sun's on it, easier to break up. Well, a little bit. But honestly, that's hard enough on my back that I've already lost interest and don't care to continue. It's just par for the course when you're sort of yuck camping, let's say. That time right between winter and spring. Yuck camping. I told you it was going to get breezy, Penny. Hey? Yeah, I know. And it's that breeze that is keeping me from whipping out the bear den. Well, that and the hard ground, like I said, but yeah, because it's got such a big footprint. Like, you could get some pegs into the ground here, but in this area it would be a little bit more challenging, I would think. And is that really something we want to stress ourselves out with right now? Not really. As nice as it looks out here, it's actually still quite chilly. It's amazing the temperature difference 20 minutes away from the city, you know? And I'm pretty sure it's nice and warm in Calgary today, but it's chilly out here. Let's see what our space connection says. It says it's 6 degrees here right now. Yeah, but it feels like... Oh, it says it feels like -2. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. Whereas back in Calgary, it's 8 and feels like, oh, well, 1. Not as hot as I thought it would be. I'm not missing out on anything. These almost done? They must be. 2 minutes? I don't want to wait 2 minutes for hot honey balls. Oh! That's the sound of hopefully cooked honey balls. They're nice and soft. Yum. You know what? We're not even going to worry about a plate. Less dishes. Let's go. I know it might seem weird that I'm like letting all of the heat out of the van, but it's cold, but that diesel heater is doing work. And it's getting very warm in there, so this is how we balance things. All right, Penny, what do you think? Is it going to be any good? I don't even know. Bone apple tits? Oh. Oh, it's cheese. Probably knew that. And I'd just forgotten. Oh. The absolute center is a little cold still, Penny. in our tiny air fryer, 8 minutes probably would have been best. But yeah, those are good. They're just like, I don't even know if I can show you this. Hang on. Right, just break these little suckers open. Oh, see, look at that gooey cheese. And it's infused with honey. The honey flavor is definitely there. It just gives it like a nice little sweet undertone. Yeah. I know, that's a good snack we'll do again. Yum. You want to go back inside? Ooh, the breeze just died down, and we demolished those hot honey balls. Mmm. Yum, right? Here's an argument against having Starlink out here at Access, because I was just perusing Facebook and whatnot, like the savage that I am, and I haven't been keeping up with them nearly as frequently. Just see the very first episode from Chapter 5 here, but sons of buggers, they got my number. Look at this new Dixon flannel coming out. It's based off of the very first Offspring, well, not the first Offspring album ever released. I believe that was Ignition. But this is based off of Smash, which was the very first Offspring album I ever listened to. And it's a nice black and yellow colorway with red on the buttons. Bloody Dixon! Get off your phone. Look at a tree. Lovely. Don't blow away, Penny. I just gotta do dishes real quick, okay? Dishes are done. Such a bachelor. Probably gonna have to make a stop at a grocery store of some sort. I don't know if it'll be today. Maybe we'll rip into town tomorrow morning when we get up. I could stop when I'm back in Calgary tonight, obviously, with my kiddo. But we're running out of garbage bags. I think the vinegar needs to be refilled. Although, if I keep doing dishes like that, the hell do I need vinegar for? And baby wipes. Those things those come in clutch, man. That is like one of those Vanlife staples. That is all. I mean, for me, it's been a double whammy because my entire van life, of course, I've had my kiddo who's almost 5, right? But she was almost 2 when I started this epic adventure. Was she? Yeah, right? So the baby wipes coming in clutch as a van lifer, coming in clutch as a dad. Are we gonna need the air fryer again? I don't think so. Back into Lucky's rump. All right, Putty Tat, you have enough of this? Is that enough breezy nature for you for now? Come here. Come here. I got you. The Penny Pneumatic Lift 3000. Oh, gotcha. I'll put your tent away and your bed back. You enjoy the hold of the good ship Lucky. Get this stuff put away, and it's pretty much time to rip into the city and have my evening with the Pirate Princess. One last thing before we take off, though, actually. Heater's been ticking away all night, keeping us, well, not necessarily alive, but definitely nice and warm and comfortable. We have too many keys. We're gonna fill up the diesel. I think we're rolling around with a full roto pack here, yeah. There we go. So let's get this into the good ship Lucky, then we're not transporting a full thing of diesel. This is another one of those reasons that I really like the idea of the Jeep, was for situations like this, where, I mean, I guess it would have to be colder, right? But you could set up camp and then not have to worry about tearing anything down with the van. And I just used the Jeep to be the gopher, right? And when I get to do it, it's still really cool. So I say that now in the sense that I doubt I'm going to need any more diesel on this trip that I'm out here for. The heater's running on low with just a few bursts of high to keep it nice and clean. But yeah, it's still nice to be able to do that without having to move the entire tiny home on wheels. Oh yes, let's not forget. Get rid of our garbage while we take off. Okay. So long, base camp. We'll be back in a few hours. Bon voyage. You're like the Roadrunner, kid. Your chariot awaits, madame. Get up there. Excellent. All right, Pirate Princess. Did you have a good day at daycare today? Yeah. Yeah? Now what should we go do?
Don't get Slurpees.
Slurpees?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What colors?
I don't know.
I don't know. Should we just see what they have?
Yeah.
All right, what do we say?
Yes.
Tally freaking ho.
Tally freaking ho.
And away we go.
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Can I poem? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Yes, sweetheart. Are you ready for bed? And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel and toe, You turn to me and Cap says I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Mm-hmm. Morning.
Morning. How you doing?
Good, you?
All right.
All right, nice quick rip into town to procure some items for the van and some groceries for this evening as well. I decided while I was there I would just get out of the way the stuff that I need for taco night, because again I'll be doing the same thing tonight, going in, picking up the Pie Princess, then we go over to Lindsay's and Sadie's for dinner. My turn to cook, so tacos it is. And that's why I threw that Yeti ice pack in the freezer just now. I will put that back in the cooler when I head into the city, and it'll keep the meat nice and fresh before it goes in the pan. Now I'm going to prepare myself a little bit of a early lunch, late breakfast here. I'm gonna take a second crack at something I did on a live stream a while back, those cream cheese everything bagel tortilla roll wrap thingies. And I'm probably gonna throw a steak into the air fryer for myself as well. But top up our cleaning supplies first and foremost. And yeah, I went into the hardware store while I was in town. I went there because the grocery store didn't have the garbage bags I was looking for, the ones that fit really nice into this trash can. They didn't really have them at the hardware store either. Well, they didn't have the brand I usually get, and they're about 4 liters smaller than normal, but I picked up a box while I was there. Anyway, supporting the local businesses as best I can. All right, we got our steak there, and you know what? I don't think I'm going to dirty up the cutting board if I don't have to. Let's just take our tippy-topped up vinegar here. Give them a good swipe. Ah, what is that? It's probably construction adhesive. Okay, so for this very simple recipe, which I said I'd already made this on a live stream not too long ago, we've got tortillas, avocado oil, everything bagel seasoning, a knife, and the cream cheese, the star of the whole show. I wanted to try this with bigger tortillas this time. The last time I did it with the little tiny, like, soft taco shell sized ones. It was between these or the Dempster's ones. The Dempster's ones were even bigger. I went with Old El Paso. Clearly. Bust this bad boy open. Get our cream cheese and just start spreading. You know, after all that, I said I didn't want to get the cutting board dirty. However, I do have to cut this into little bite-sized pieces, so it's why we've got the Allen family cutting board anyway, right? There we go. Another beautiful day out here today. No regrets with this decision. The cream cheese tortilla or the coming out here. We're going to sprinkle some everything bagel seasoning just right there. Yeah, definitely probably could have gone with the Dempster's tortilla. But it's all right. We're slowly increasing the size. Very carefully. That's the good stuff. Okay. The original recipe I saw used butter, but I don't feel like horsing around. I also don't have any butter currently. Slice this guy up into little bite-sized chunky chunks. And then into the air fryer. 5 minutes at 400. Away we go. Oh yeah, those garbage bags that I got. Still over here. Where did I put them? There they are. Yeah, it's the only option I had. Rack sack garbage bag. Says they're for 21 liters. Hopefully it works. Guess we should find out, because these Glad ones work very well. Hey Penny, here, hold the rack sacks, will you? Or just keep an eye on them. Oh yeah, no problem, bud. There you go. Let's put the other ones underneath here as well. Plastic in the garbage, and they got little handles built in as well, eh? Cool. There's some quality content. Quality content. Garbage bag has handles on it. Works great. Oh, let's come back in here. We are going to need some salt and pepper. Yes, this has both in it, but this pink Himalayan salt is way better. This will be to prep our steak, which I'm just going to do from frozen again. after my little bitey things are ready to go. Probably would have been smarter to do the steak first. If you wanted to serve the little bites with the steak, you could let the steak rest for 5 minutes while these things cook, but I'm starving, and I'll probably eat at least 2 of those, like 2 tortillas worth, plus the steak. Because I'm an adult and I can do whatever I want. Some salt on that bad boy. Some pepper. Flip. Same thing. And don't forget the Montreal steak spice. Perfect. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, look at those. Oh yeah, those look way better in the big tortillas. Let's move these bad boys over here. There we go. Put this bad boy in here. We've preheated our air fryer basically. 400. Let's do 16 minutes, flip it at 8, and hopefully then our steak will be good to go as well. Everybody just calm down. It was just a little scalding cheese. Scalding? Scalding. Nailed it. All right, now we've dropped the temperature of our mouth. Let's try one of these little bastards again. Just looks so good. Look at this. Hang on. Before I... Look at this. Look how good that looks. Oh, come on. Such a good little snack. Cheese-filled tortillas and steak. What more do you need? Well, I definitely feel better about everything getting out here doing this. And I got a whole other night of this still before I got to get everything ready. To go back into the city for one night, and then after that it is off on the very first camping trip of the chapter. Well, not the first camping trip of the chapter, but the first camping trip of the camping season, let's say. And if you know, you know. Yeah, I hope you got a little bit of something from this video. Thank you very much for sticking with me through all of the ups and downs that has been my life over the last, well, like 4 years basically that I've been making videos here on YouTube. And I am so excited to continue it. I know a lot of people, I don't know if they just don't listen or what's going on, but a lot of people get concerned that the channel's gonna stop. That's not gonna be the case at all. It's gonna be this and so much more. I enjoy doing what I do far too much to say bye-bye to it. I like it so much, I've started a second channel doing other things as well. Because if you can't take the opportunity to lean in and do what you love, what the hell are we doing? And it turns out when you start to get up in your head and a little confused about things or stressed out about things, just run away to the woods. Eat a bunch of cheese balls. What could possibly go wrong? Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Until the next one, just go out there, be happy, be creative, be yourselves. Most importantly, be positive. And remember, only dead fish go with the flow. Oh, hello.